Welcome time travelers, and welcome new time travelers. If you're new to this channel, please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, come along as we go back in time and learn something. In 1790, the first session of the Supreme Court of the United States was held in New York City. In 1820, the battle fought at Cepeda, Argentina. Federalist forces defeated Junteros, who were advocates of strong central government. Now, if you're a fan of my Word of the Day series, then this next event is for you. In 1884, the first 10 volumes of the Oxford English Dictionary was published in London, with the final volume being published in April 19th, 1928. Now, I'm not entirely sure how many volumes of this dictionary there is, but for it to span 44 years, that's a lot of dictionaries to be publishing. 12 years later, in 1896, Giacomo Puccini premiered his opera La Bohème at the Teatro Reggiano in Turin, Italy. Now, in 1901, American motion picture star Clark Gable, whose enormous popularity made him the King of Hollywood, was born in Chasdes, Ohio. The following year, in 1902, I should say, American writer Langston Hughes, one of the foremost interpreters to the world of the Black experience in the United States, was born. On this day in 1920, the Royal Canadian Motor Police, or the RCMP, was established and given responsibility for federal law enforcement in all Canadian provinces and territories. 1923 is when the private army of Blackskirts that helped Benito Mussolini come to power in Italy was officially transformed into a national militia, the voluntary fascist militia for national security. 23 years later, in 1946, Norwegian politician and diplomat Tagiv Lai was elected the first Secretary General of the United Nations. 1946 also brought us the discovery of a new dark star and the universe that we start in the universe as reported at the 74th meeting of American Astronomical Society at Columbia University. 1960 brought us protesting a segregated lunch counter at a Woolworths in Greensboro, North Carolina. Where 4 African Americans began a sit-in. Its success led to a wider sit-in movement throughout the South. That actually makes me think of one of the episodes of Quantum Leap where Sam Beckett was actually the leaper and not Ben Song. Both of the Quantum Leap series are a good series. Anyway, that's slightly off topic. 5 years later, in 1965, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and more than 770 other African Americans are arrested in Salem, Alabama, during demonstrations against Alabama voter registration requirements. 14 years later, in 1979, the spacecraft Voyager photographed Jupiter from a distance of 20.3 million miles, or 32.7 million kilometers. On this day in 2003, while returning to Earth from an orbital mission, the U.S. Space Shuttle Columbia broke up catastrophically at an altitude of about 40 miles or 60 kilometers over Texas, killing all 7 crew members. I honestly remember hearing some about this, or maybe it was something different. There might have been one where there was a couple survivors and they landed in a lake, ocean, bay, something like that. Anyway, the following year, in 2004, in what perhaps the most controversial halftime show in the Super Bowl history, pop singer Janet Jackson experienced a wardrobe malfunction when part of her bustier was ripped off by Justin Timberlake. Some argued that it was accidental, while others said it was premeditated. Now, I don't want to start an argument in the comment section about this. I'm just reading the facts that I found. 2009 brought us Icelandic politician Johan Sigurdardóttir was sworn in as the country's prime minister, becoming the first woman to hold the post in Iceland and the world's first openly gay head of the government. Um, 2013 brought us American politician Ed Koch, who had served as mayor of New York City in 1970, from 1978 to 1989, earning a reputation for leniency and brashness, passed away at the age of 88. 3 years ago, in 2021, the military seized power of Myanmar outside the country's de facto leader, ousting the country's de facto leader, Aung San Suu Kyi. Until next time.